local sports update. I'm Lauren Brooks for 1010XL. The NFL Combine kicks off later this month and a list of participants was released today. Georgia received 10 invitations, 9 players from Florida State and Miami were invited, 6 from Florida and 4 from UCF. The First Coast will be well represented with Marquise Haynes from University Christian, Hayden Hurst from Bowles, Chris Jones from Sandalwood, Javon Wims from Ed White, and 4 players from Trinity Christian were all invited. National Signing Day is tomorrow, and several top players from Florida will announce where they will attend college. We hope you will join us as 1010XL will be live from the main event from noon until 6 o'clock. Stay tuned for Helmets and Heels built by Dreamfinders Homes. That comes up until 9 o'clock, followed by Hacker After Dark until midnight, all on 1010XL.
Local sports on Jacksonville Sports Station 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes, is presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products on 1010XL. Now your hosts,
Lauren Brooks,
Donna Murphy,
Jordan DeArmond,
and Blythe Brumley.
A little throwback to Helmets and Heels of old. I have a feeling that when the computer system crashed, we may have lost the newer opening.
Wait, it crashed?
Oh. It did.
Oh
yes.
no!
It's been a big issue for a lot of people behind the scenes.
What a nightmare!
The good news is Jordan DeArmond's team did not lose this year's Super Bowl. The bad news is Donna Murphy's team did. Blythe, I'll start with you. Is that the best Super Bowl game you've ever seen?
No, I mean I try not to. I try not to sort of say that in the moment, just because there's been so many great games in the past, and I don't want to like harp on past Patriots losses, but I think that Giants win from a few years ago with the David Tyree catch was incredible. There's been a lot of key significant moments, but it definitely was exciting. It was something that the NFL's sort of been a little down this year and over past years with their ratings. Historically, the Super Bowl was, I think it was the 10-year low for them as far as ratings-wise, which is a little surprising considering you have 2 really big markets in Philly and New England. But outside of that, it was a great game. It was an offensive performance that everybody wanted to see, I think.
Donna, other than the fact that your team lost, how'd you feel about it?
I was fine because I knew off the bat they were going to lose. So
really?
I texted Lauren because I said, I'm going to put this on record. And I apologize for my voice because this has just come on, seriously.
Thanks for battling through.
Right. And I said, Lauren, I want to put this on record. I know my team is going to lose. So I am at peace watching this game now. And it wasn't even kickoff. So she responded obviously with
She
why?
said that they were going to,
I said, well, they're wearing red in their warm-ups. You don't wear red.
Why not?
The only time I've ever seen anybody wear red, obviously Matt Patricia's allowed to wear red because that's his thing. Belichick wore red in the Giants Super Bowl, and he's never worn red again. And we've never worn red, and I don't know why. And I said, nope, not going to win. There wasn't one time during the game, not even with Brady with 2 minutes to go, because TJ, who doesn't want New England to win, was like, you got the ball, you got plenty of time. I said, nope, something's not right. And then then the strip sack happened. I go, see? It's just, it never,
I had the complete
never felt
opposite reaction. With 2 minutes left and Brady has the ball, I made the comment, I was like, here, the Eagles left too much time on the clock, they're going to go right down the field and they're going to score, and they're going to do it again.
Nope.
And it was right after that he got strip fumble.
It's funny because last year, when it became 28-10 or 28-12, I forgot at the time, I immediately was like, oh, this is going to be really interesting. And so I had that feeling last year, but this year I was like, no, we don't got it. I don't even care what the score is. Either the Eagles will come back and win, or it's just not going to work out. No.
I mean, from watching both last year's Super Bowl and then watching the AFC Championship game obviously closely, and we've seen several replays since then, it definitely seemed to me like the Patriots had an advantage at the 33-32 mark. Was maybe 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, somewhere around there. And so as soon as they took the lead for the first time in that game, that's when you started to go, uh-oh, this is when Brady and Belichick are at their best. And then the Eagles obviously were able to do things that the Jaguars couldn't do and that the Falcons couldn't do last year, and that was kind of go full throttle. What do you think about the whole Malcolm Butler not playing the Patriots cornerback?
And he sent out a statement.
He did
already.
And then Tom Brady reacted to it as well.
And I have, quote unquote, my sources. My brother knows guys there. And so I've been trying, the whole family's been trying to pull it from my brother, he's trying to get it from his guys. And all that we know is that Kraft was extremely upset that Butler was not playing. So the decision when they go and meet between Kraft and Brady and Belichick, I would not be surprised if by the end of the week or next week you see Belichick is gone.
Wow.
Apparently it is. And it broke up the locker room. Rowe only found out like 20 minutes before kickoff that he was starting. So this is a game plan changer right off at the last minute.
Why do you think that Belichick did this? Because I heard a theory that it's sabotage.
Well, and I wouldn't put it past that. Did you watch the 2 Bills?
No.
The 30 for 30?
I was protesting.
So that really gets you into the mindset, and it gets you into the mindset of Kraft though too, because he didn't want to be a part of the football, kind of like Shad Khan. It's like, look, I don't know much about it, so I'm going to let you guys handle it. But the more he got into it, now the more he knows, and I think the more his voice was heard, which probably with Garoppolo being gone and Brady's his guy, and so I think Kraft wanted more input, and Belichick's not. That's not how it's been ever.
Right.
And Belichick's old school. I mean, he's been I didn't know this. He's been cutting off his sleeves since back in the day, since the 80s. The hoodie, he's been cutting that off ever since he started in the NFL, which is decades ago.
The only thing that's different is the haircut, because he had more of like the longer bowl cut back then. Obviously now it's
so he's an old school guy, and if he doesn't like you, if you looked at him the wrong way, you're gone.
So now when that report came out a few weeks ago, and we talked about it with all the rumors going on and how there's turmoil inside the locker room, do you believe a certain part of that now?
The Butler thing, I definitely do. If the Butler thing didn't happen, I would have a hard time believing it. But because he changed this at the last minute, sometimes, a lot of times up there with New England fans, you got to just say, in Bill we trust. That's what we do. You let players go in midseason, star players, Chandler Jones, and so much. We're like, I don't know what you're doing, but you clearly have, you're the best coach, so we're just going to trust in you. But this time, the game plan wasn't there. Nothing seemed right. And the fact that he never even brought Butler in, except for one special team play, that was it.
Right, because he had arguably one of the most pivotal Super Bowl moments in history with that pick on the goal line against Seattle.
And they tried to trade him last offseason, but that didn't work out. And I don't know on whose end it didn't work out.
And I wonder, I did hear rumors that Butler wanted a big-time contract, and that's when, sort of Belichick was, and this is all rumors, this is all, radio theories and things like that, but that Belichick had been soured on Butler since then, that he didn't want to be a team-first guy and signed a lower-rated contract.
Yeah, and I mean, from Butler's statement today, he came out and said everything about, all the rumors are not true. I wasn't missing curfew. I wasn't, doing anything bad.
And I'm glad he did that, because people believe what I call fake news
now,
easily.
With the statement, though, what you have to look at is everybody that likes it. Because obviously Brady has liked it on his Instagram and stuff like that. So now the locker room is backing Butler. And you know how it works. If you've lost the locker room, you're definitely gone. So
there's a power struggle there. It looks like internally, and it looks like Brady is going to win, and they're going to let Belichick walk.
Yeah, and that's a shame. But eventually, they have to part. Eventually,
it's good for the rest of the league.
Eventually, he has to go.
I'm thankful,
whether it's retirement or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Tyler, did you make it back in time to watch the game back from Minneapolis?
I did. I got back Saturday night.
Was it one of the best games you've seen?
I would say so. I mean, I love high-scoring games. I don't like defensive games where you're playing for field position. So, yeah, for me, I liked it a lot.
I'm right there with you. If it's not one of your teams in it, then the fact that you got to see the most yards ever in any NFL game is kind of a moment that you'll always remember. So I thought it was fantastic, especially for the fact that if you were cheering for the Eagles and kind of, even if you, obviously like most of us, we're not Eagles fans, we don't even have a connection to the Eagles, but you just wanted to see the evil empire, not get a 6th Super Bowl. And so the ending of it was tremendous. I think for me, I did think as soon as Brady released the Hail Mary that, oh no, here we go. It's going to end with well, it obviously couldn't end like that, but
if that was Eli Manning, it would have been gone.
Grunk's going to catch
Eli Manning was in the building for that game too.
Yeah, Grunk's going to catch this ball. They're going to, I just couldn't believe the Patriots would actually lose and it was several seconds after that ball was just lying in the end zone and Gronk was kind of looking at it that all of a sudden I realized that the time had expired. It didn't hit me like it probably did hit Patriots fans who were watching it that closely. I was watching the action just expecting the Patriots to win, and all of a sudden I was like 4 seconds later I was like, oh my gosh, the game is over. This is tremendous, because as we did all season, there was a bet going along, and we will reveal who lost the bet. And so you can tell by the excitement in my voice, it was not me. But we will reveal that in the next segment. But yeah, to me, it was an astonishing game of back and forth, and the 2 trick plays that were not almost identical, but where you have the quarterbacks going to catch it. Yeah, it was
pretty funny.
And the background to that, I just loved all of it.
And isn't Trey Burton? What's his number? 80?
Trey Burton is number 8.
Oh, number 8.
At least he was in college, I think. You know what? He couldn't be 8 in the NFL, so no, that's not true.
Those 2 trick plays, the funniest part was after the game, because that famous saying by Giselle a few years ago, my husband cannot throw the ball and catch the ball, and there were Eagle fans jumping in that said, but Nick Foles can.
Did you see the Butterfingers?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was great.
I laughed. 88, that's what I had in my head, yeah.
So I was like, it is pretty similar, and I laugh at the fact that they did it after New England, and I'm like, well, it worked. I'm like, everybody should know that if New England's missing field goals and a trick play is not working, you should know it's not going their way. It's just that
they did a couple trick plays in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, but if it didn't go their way, you know what I mean? Like, usually stuff goes their way.
Oh, right.
So for me, it was absolutely awful, and I assume like most Jaguar supporters, to have to watch the AFC Championship game, whether the entire game when they showed on NFL Network or highlights of it or people tweet about it. Has it been equally awful to you over the last couple days, having to see all of this Super Bowl coverage?
No, because I'm used to this. I'm used to the winning and I'm used to the losing. Like, it's nothing new to me.
If it was the first Super Bowl that the Patriots had been in, it would feel a lot different.
Yeah, obviously. If this nothing can top last year's, and nothing can top the loss of 2007. That one was just brutal. It's just,
and that's the David Tyree catch.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do with that one, and it's just dumb luck and crap. And you're 18-0. You're going, you're shutting down Dolphin fans and Mercury Morris. But no, it's just
this stupid champagne.
Stupid champagne. But yeah. Obviously, you can say however I sound, but it was icing on the cake that we even made it. But no one was going to beat the Eagles. Dang, everything was on their side. I think even if Carson Wentz was still playing, they probably would have dominated even more.
Maybe. That's the one interesting part. And certainly if you're an Eagles fan, you kind of feel like, other than they do have cap issues, but you kind of feel like, hey, we've got a solid starting quarterback, and if Foles doesn't leave, we've got a great backup if for some reason he can't play. For Jaguars fans, so I'll ask you, Blythe, specifically, were you emotionally invested in the Eagles? Did you find yourself rooting for the Eagles, not the exact way you would the Jaguars against the Patriots, or in a game like that, but were you finding yourself kind of watching this Super Bowl different than other Super Bowls?
Not really. I'm sort of just watching it as a spectator, because the Super Bowl is just so different. It's almost like a bigger event, and so you're looking forward to halftime. You're looking forward to commercials. You're not watching it strictly for the game. But it was awesome that the game was as great as it was. I wasn't emotionally invested until the game actually started, because I was very bitter and still very mad about the loss in the AFC Championship game. So I've avoided largely any kind of, sports talk radio, any sports shows, any like recaps over the past few weeks or since the AFC Championship game. So this was coming into the game, and even seeing some of the pregame coverage, I sort of got the evil eye every time I saw Brady on television, and you just get a little mad, and then the game starts, and then it's everything's sort of back to normal, I guess. I
went to a party where there was one Patriots fan, and she was super nice and good about it. She's not like a super diehard, but she was obviously cheering for the Patriots. She made New England clam chowder, and I was like, yeah, I can't eat that. Like I realized like, well, I will eat it. I just couldn't that day because I found myself pretty emotionally invested in that game. It was to the point where I was screaming about, and it was in the second half when the Patriots, I thought, completely had pass interference against the Eagles, and I was screaming, and I didn't really realize that I was yelling that loud until Brian told me, like, okay, this is not a Jaguars game. You don't need to act like that. And I was like, oh yeah, like I think I could kind of see with the Eagles coloring, like the Jaguars there. So it was fun though to have a team to root for in the Super Bowl. Yeah. I did watch it a lot more intently than I have Super Bowls in the past. Before I would kind of half watch and then definitely watch the commercials. This year I could have cared less about the commercials. I was just all in on that football game, and I'm glad I was, because it was such a great game. Again, with the good ending for me, and I feel bad every time I say that. Sorry, Donna, for the bad ending.
Like I said,
she's fine. She has like 5 Super Bowls. She's fine.
I know. I got a phone call when we came to work yesterday, and one of our guys here was like, "How are you not mad?" I'm like, because I'm spoiled. Why would I be mad? That's so wrong. It feels wrong to be mad about that.
And it's funny because from our perspective, not ever having played in a Super Bowl, it's hard to envision not being upset about a loss.
Yeah.
But I also can't imagine having 5 of them in the back pocket either.
That's also true.
Who is the biggest loser? We will tell you next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
1010XL salutes local legend Brian Dawkins.
What?
Oh, no. As long as your throat doesn't hurt too bad. It doesn't sound bad.
That looks good.
Tyler, I'm going to go get my...
Was that Panera? Oh, Jason's Deli.
Jason's Deli, yeah.
There's a Jason's... Oh. By Fridays? Kind of? Across the street?
Yeah.
Yeah,
over near Tinseltown.
And you know me. Welcome in, YouTube. This is something new that we're doing. We used to do the show live on Facebook every Tuesday night, but now we're going to do the show on YouTube because Facebook made a bunch of changes to their algorithm and the way that they manage their pages and all that good stuff. So what we're doing from now on is we're going to be on YouTube. So if you want to get the alerts of anytime we go live, just make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll be live here until 9 p.m. tonight talking all things Super Bowl. We're going to get into some commercials, halftime, some of the Jaguars, a little bit of Blake Bortles. Can't wait to talk about that all off season. My God.
What are we live on Guys Girls YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Facebook changed the way I guess they're trying to combat like the fake news epidemic.
Oh, okay.
So what they've done is, well, they've done this for years, that they told all these businesses, go build your followership on Facebook. Create a Facebook page and tell everyone to follow all of your work there. And then what they started doing is they started reducing your organic reach, which means you would post something and anybody who ever liked your page would see that post. Well, then they started reducing it by like 75%, and then 50%, and then 25%, and then 3%. Now it's nothing. Unless you pay a little bit of money in order to promote posts and things like that. So they really, I feel bad for a lot of businesses because they paid to get, these large followings, and now they have to pay for that following to even see the stuff that they've spent so long building, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Sucks.
But YouTube is great because they have the search engine functionality. They're the second largest search engine on the planet. So
I love YouTube.
I watch YouTube I watch it more than television, more than Netflix.
That's all my son watches.
Yeah?
YouTube, because of damn Ryan's toy reviews. That's just the kids that make millions of dollars off of showing you how to play with a toy.
I was at Jack Sports had a sports career fair thing today and asked me to host at one of their tables, and all the girls or all the kids too that were coming by, some of them already have YouTube channel pages, like of them singing, doing beauty reviews.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, these kids were so awesome. They you walk by and I was asking them, okay, well, come up with an idea of what kind of business that you would start. Write your name, write your age, and then look into the camera. And I set up something similar to this. And I said, look into the camera and tell the camera exactly what you want to do. And you had some kids that came in and they killed it, and then other ones you sort of had to like pull something out of. But once you pulled it out of them, you tell them, like you pull them off to the side and tell them, like, you did really good right there. And that's when they get a little confidence boost. It was like, it was awesome. I'm gonna take the video, cut it up, and then put it all together.
That's very cool.
The kids
Tyler
were.
thinks he's getting sick too.
That I just got done being sick, so y'all
I know, right?
get me sick. I'm gonna be mad.
I think it's just a sore throat. So.
Well,
That's how
what
it
I thought mine
starts.
was. Then I got. Well, it didn't get that much worse. I can't.
Oh, I guess I should see. people commenting.
By the way, Donna, your headphones have lasted a lot longer than mine. I only have
Oh.
one ear that works now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I have plenty of the things. That's the sad part.
Are those the ones I gave you?
No, I bought these, but you gave me some
Those
of these.
things.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But now they don't work. Well, the left ear. No, the right ear doesn't work.
How do I get to the Guys Girl channel?
Search for it on YouTube. Search for Guys Girl.
You want me to come back with a highlight?
Sure.
And you know me.
For it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll come back with the Burton.
It's
pass to
Guys
Nick Foles.
Girl.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
That's
Thank you.
it. Just
Yeah.
Guys Girl.
Found me?
I accidentally put Guys Girls.
Oh yeah, that might be like a porn channel.
That'd be funny. Sorry, brother.
I hear you playing God's Plan, Tyler. I was listening to that right before I walked in.
Make this summer special with new beach
Did you see him shooting the video
from beach towels
in Miami? He went to University of Miami and is shooting it there. And they got all the kids like out on the field and he's shooting, like getting hype. It's awesome.
Back here, 15.
Wake up and smell the great outdoors on the Nimnik Outdoor Show. Jeff Lockeman, Captain Kevin, and Captain Kirk.
I saw all these ducks on the water.
This Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Holmes in the gun. Clement to his right. Now lines up behind Foles. Holmes moves to the right. It goes directly to Clement. Clement reverses it, and the pass goes into the end zone.
To Nick Foles.
It's a touchdown by Nick Foles.
Girls just want to talk football. More helmets and heels. Built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
Now on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. Heard Foles touchdown all by himself, I would say. Not as good as the ricochet that Russell Wilson had, because that could never happen again, and that was just too perfect. A pass touchdown to yourself. I think
did
that
love,
one
though,
was fantastic.
I did love in reading about it though that the way it worked is this is not a play the Eagles had ever run before. Trey Burton had never thrown a pass in the NFL, and Nick Foles had never caught a pass in the NFL. So in order to kind of take down Belichick
Right.
and his genius, they had to find a play that a different team had run and then use players that had never been involved in a scheme like that. Like, that is just amazing stuff to me.
I wonder what Doug Peterson thought when he saw New England run it and was like, wait, we're going to do that same thing. You know?
Stolen playbooks.
Didn't the Eagles do it first?
No, New England did.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Really?
Yeah, they failed.
Because
Yep.
I thought I said Nick Foles caught that when Tom Brady didn't catch it. Maybe I forgot.
Well, that is the
That's
right.
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but Tom Brady just didn't catch it early.
Yeah. All right, so all season long we had our fun with some picks. Never against the spread. We always went straight up. We always mixed in college with the NFL, and we ended it with the Super Bowl. And at the end, right before the Super Bowl, our picks were I was standing with the lead with 48, so I didn't have to worry about this TB12
No, you
time.
did not.
So that was lovely.
You had a
However,
Super Bowl to worry about, though.
right. However, Blythe and Tyler were tied at 43, and Lauren was sitting just 1 point back at 42. So all three of us went with New England, and Lauren's like, I gotta catch up. So she went with Philly. So she was the lone winner.
Thank
So
you,
then it
people.
brings all three of you to 43 points. So
Yeah.
we took Go ahead.
I'm just saying yes. I'm not
Oh, okay.
I'm in agreement.
I'm waiting
Donna are
for
both under the weather
I know
here
my
tonight.
Yeah, just get it over
So
with.
we took the tiebreaker was the score, and I took the margin of victory as the tiebreaker. And Lauren had the smallest margin of victory, was 7, and then Blythe had 13 points in between, and Tyler had the biggest deficit of 17. So we dubbed Tyler as the loser for this year for the picks.
Wow, wow.
Tyler, how do you feel about this?
I would play the loser game show sound, but we lost that one.
No worries.
Well, I have good news for you, and that is you get to pick whatever week you want to do it.
Yes.
Considering especially that you're getting sick, right now would probably not be the time to switch up your diet.
So am I like drinking some sort of like nasty smoothie every day, or what? Am I
Avocado
doing?
ice cream.
You don't have to make smoothies. You just have
Right.
to eat healthy, very healthy, in things like no caffeine, no dairy, no alcohol, and then all lean meat. So no red meat, really, no steak.
No
things like that.
tomatoes.
It's essentially
no
like
fruits.
it's essentially the keto diet, but with less stuff. So if you look up the keto diet, you're like, that really sucks. Just that sucks, and then you got to go less than that.
For like a hot second, I thought, well, maybe I'll do the diet with Tyler, and then I thought, nah.
Well, I had mentally prepared myself to do
Right.
the diet because obviously New England's favored it in the Super Bowl, and it's Brady, Belichick, blah blah blah. And then I did have a small part of me thinking, like, it's going to be just fine. It's not going to be a big deal. I'll do the diet the week before I go to Puerto Rico. Everybody wants to look good in a bathing suit.
Right.
It'll be fine. And then the Eagles won, and I was like, okay, as long as I don't have to do the diet, I'm so thankful. But that's because I love things like coffee and wine, and those are things that are not
Yeah,
allowed.
the coffee part would have been the toughest. That's the first thing I thought of, and I was like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Tyler, what will be hard for you?
It's got to be the coffee. I get here at like 5:45 every morning. That's really tough for me.
So I told Tyler, I said, well, we can turn it into the Gronk version because they did. They
That'd
do
be
it.
like what, Red Meat and Red Bulls only.
Well, they do a different one
You
because
gotta
he
crush
loves,
a beer can on your forehead.
right, because he
before
loves
every
to
show.
drink. So what they did was they changed it. So every beer you have, or every one drink you have to have 3 glasses of water. And so someone tried this. I don't know if you saw this article, but
No.
someone's like, all right, so I'm going to try the Gronk's version of this. And he tried it for 2 days, and he said, I am never doing this again. Because he likes to drink. So he would have 1 beer, and then he'd have 3 glasses of water. And he's full, so you don't want to eat anything. But what do you love to do? Obviously, when you drink beer, you love to have munchies.
Gronk actually does that?
That's what he does, yes. And that's why he didn't get hurt at all this year, with the exception of the concussion. And he's hurt every year.
What's the point of drinking beer if you're going to space it out with 3 water?
And what kind of beer is
Because
it? Like
you
if you
love
drink
the taste
Natty
of
Light,
beer.
that's kind of water.
That's what the guy did. He changed it up. He's like, well, if I'm going to do this, because it all depends on how many calories and what type.
10%
So
IPA.
Yeah, so he had an
Yeah,
IPA,
that makes
and he goes,
sense.
that was the worst mistake. No. So then he changed it up to like whiskey and Coke. He's like, that wasn't so bad.
There was one time that I convinced myself that I needed to exercise more and drink less, right? That's
Right.
a common thing. So I said I can have a drink for every mile I run. So if I want to have 4 glasses of wine one weekend, I have to run 4 miles before I can have any of those. It didn't even last a day. Like one day I was like, I can't. I want like 3 glasses of wine, and I didn't run 3 miles, and
Nope.
it's over, and it's the end.
Well, all you have to do is drink either straight tequila or champagne because it has the highest alcohol volume, less sugar, and with the least amount of calories. So tequila, straight tequila, or champagne.
Yeah, he the guy
But
that
it's
did.
like lunchtime.
It's
I want
hilarious.
straight tequila.
The guy that
You gotta
did
make
this,
sacrifices, I guess.
he said he woke up the next day and he felt worse than he usually does when he drinks all night.
Oh.
He's like, I can't do that.
It probably could be his body getting used to not having
Right.
ex-
And it-
expunging
you
all
have
of that
so much-
junk.
You have so much water. So he was like, well, I'm going to do this like I normally drink, but then add in all the water. And that's a huge mistake. You can't do that.
Yeah,
Have
that's-
1 beer and then drink your water
That you'd
and
be
leave
living
it
in
at
the
that.
restroom.
Yeah.
Tyler, the good news is, again, you can pick whatever week. So if there's a week that you're not working, say around Christmas,
No,
not
not a holiday.
Actually, you can't wait
do-
till Christmas
That
because
might be
new
the
football
worst
season
week
will
to
be.
shoot.
Yeah, right.
Well, I was thinking like
All
when
these
you would have
stipulations.
off, you can do it as long as you do it the week before the next football season begins.
Yeah.
Then you can pick whatever week.
Yeah, you absolutely have to do it before football season
Yes.
starts. No Christmas BS.
No, I'm not waiting that long.
But
I
we
know.
need proof. So every time you
Oh, yeah.
eat,
Take
we
pictures.
need pictures of all your meals.
Just don't take pictures of the coffee that you'll
We
probably
need
sneak in.
before and after
that's
pictures
what I would totally
of your
do.
stomach. That's what I think we
Nasty
need.
shakes I'll be drinking.
Yep.
Artichokes and.
I think you're gonna go from already, thin and in shape to like ripped. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Yeah. I think we'll help you. We'll look up some of the diets, some of the foods that you can eat and recipes, and we'll help you with that. Does that sound good?
I'm gonna need help because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Sounds like a plan.
I think it was good of you to agree to do this in the beginning because you could have easily been like, I don't need to lose weight. No, I'm not buying in on this
I'm
bet.
not even sure if I really agreed to this in the first place. I started making the picks anyways, but here we are.
No, I vividly remember in an email. I'm sure sometime you said sure, absolutely. But the whole point of it was that whoever lost would actually do it, or else it's kind of a fake, not for real type of thing. So I like I said, I think it's great that that you're willing to step up and be a diet man for a week.
You're welcome.
All right, if the Jaguars had beaten the Patriots, would the Jaguars have beaten the Eagles? Blythe?
This was a question I was interested in hearing.
Part of me says yes, but after watching that offensive sort of throwdown, I don't know that this Jaguars offense would have been able to keep up with the Philly offense. It was over 1,000 offensive yards in this game. Only one punt. Nick Foles was a beast on third downs. I don't know that this Jaguars offense could have competed with that Philly offense. And you could say, well, maybe Nick Foles probably couldn't have thrown against this Jaguars secondary. Their game plan against the Patriots were to attack those linebackers, and that's a strength on this Jaguars team. I think we would have been competitive, but I don't know that we would have beaten Philly.
Yeah, I think they had too many offensive weapons. The Jaguars obviously had issues at wide receiver, and their tight end position looks nothing like the Eagles' tight end position. So, yes, I think there would have been less yardage in the game. But I thought all along if the Jaguars beat the Patriots, the Jaguars will win the Super Bowl. After watching that game, I said, I don't think so. I think Doug Peterson is a fantastic coach, and I think that they were able to game plan some of their guys into situations that I just don't think the Jaguars would have been able to figure out. Because remember, the Patriots defense may not be as highly touted as the Jaguars, and certainly we're not that good against the run all season long. But they are still a smart football team thanks to their defensive coordinator and their head coach. What do you think, Tyler?
I'm sorry, I wasn't even listening.
If the Jaguars
He's looking up recipes.
If the Jaguars had beaten the Patriots, if the Jaguars had beaten the Eagles.
I would say no. I think because we would lose the offensive line battle. Their offensive line's way better, and that was the real key in the game. They couldn't really stop them in the trenches at all. But I think it'd be a toss-up, but I would probably go with the Eagles.
And Donna, what do you think?
My first opinion was like, hell no. I mean, there's no way if Brady and company put up 500 yards, no. But then again, the Patriots secondary is just god-awful. I can't stand them. I've harped on them all season and how much I don't like them because they don't turn around for the ball. They're never right with their play, with their man. But so there's a part of me that's like, well, yeah, maybe like Blythe said, maybe Nick Foles wouldn't have thrown for that many. But even if he didn't throw for that many, could Bortles and the offense have put up that many? Mm-hmm. I don't think so. Not against the Eagles' defense, because the Eagles' defense is stellar. So
yeah,
especially with our wide receiver crew, they were good, but they weren't great.
Right.
And those guys were great.
And it's an easy argument to say, well, the Jaguars did put up 45 points on the Steelers, and the Steelers are certainly no slouches on defense.
Yeah, but you got the Steelers number.
Yeah, and sometimes
yeah,
to me,
we do.
The game ends up just being almost bigger. The moment is too big, and I wonder if that would have happened to the Jaguars. Yes, I understand the Eagles hadn't been there the year before or anything like that, but I would just wonder with the Jaguars having never really been in the postseason for the most of the guys, I think only Mercedes, had been in the postseason before as a Jaguar. So to me, I think it might have been the 2 weeks off just might have been too big for the Jaguars to overcome. But the Eagles certainly made it look easy. Not easy, but they filled the crowd, they filled the stands, and you heard them loud and
burn
clear.
their city down afterwards.
And then they certainly
Come on. I mean, I know the world, except for New England and Minnesota, was rooting for Philly, but if you're like, can the Eagles win but the fans not win? Because that would be the best thing. They're just awful people. They are really bad people. And I thought, Steelers fans were pretty bad when I was hearing about stuff that was going on when the Jags were up there, but man, Eagles fans are bad.
I will say I went to Jerry's, we always have a Super Bowl party there, so I went there before the game and I was carrying a big box of prizes and an Eagles fan came and grabbed the door for me and he's like, see, we're not all bad.
Yeah, they're not
all
bad.
See, that's the thing, like you can't stereotype them
like
all.
the Bills Mafia.
Correct.
All of them, we understand they're not all bad.
Yeah, but they were the only ones that came to the city and actually trashed it when, our groups of fans went up to New England, went up to Pittsburgh, and by all reviews, they were treated very, very nicely.
Right. But the problem is the things that make the headlines are the worst incidents.
Sure.
Right. So
when you have actual thousands of people rioting and destroying the city, then the majority of your fans suck.
Yeah, it's not like this headline makes it like family of 4 celebrates quietly at home in Eagles gear. I saw pictures of that, but that didn't make a headline.
If you're an Eagles fan and they win the Super Bowl, are you showing up downtown just to even watch other people go crazy?
God,
I wouldn't want to get any
I want to be downtown by then.
I would love to have like my popcorn ready, just watching the chaos.
Like if you're in a building high above it or something, but I wouldn't want to be where some part of my body could be lit on fire because I'm standing too close to somebody who's about to lose their mind.
And how about the dummies who left their cars just like parked in the middle of what were you thinking?
What are any of them thinking?
Maybe they wanted to get the insurance check. Maybe that was a ploy.
That's smart.
After seeing what Nick Foles did, does that make you think differently about Blake Bortles? We'll get into that and a whole lot more. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
My brother's watching. That's why I shook my head. Because my brothers, we're on, the family text.
Yeah.
He goes, put your jacket back on. Hi, my dad. He goes, no, it's your brother watching. Cover up.
That's cool. They're watching.
My brother.
I mean, you're in a t-shirt.
I have twin brothers.
Hi, Donna's brother.
Jeff, we always make a joke. He still thinks I'm 12. I'm gonna be 37 this year.
He still thinks I'm
12.
I'm freaking 34 years old, and I still got to sit at the kids' table at Christmas. Sort of insulted.
Eagles defense didn't give up a single point in the final 2 minutes of a game all season.
Oh, damn.
Wow,
that's a good stat.
Right?
Welcome in, guys. If you're just tuning in, we usually have this show on Tuesday nights on Facebook, but we're moving all of our operations over to YouTube. So if you're just tuning in, be sure to hit that subscribe button, subscribe for good vibes, and we'll be here every Tuesday night so you get that little notification every time we go live. We're going to talk a little bit about Blake Bortles. We're going to talk about a lot of Blake Bortles this offseason. Put a freaking gun to my head. What else are we going to talk about? Super Bowl commercials, halftime show, favorite moments. We're also going to get into a little bit of that Larry Nassar case. Gross story out of MSU and women's gymnastics. Yeah, that's about it. But if you want to engage with the show, shoot us a little comment, post it on the chat. Try to do our best to respond to them during the commercial breaks. Maybe try to get, if you have a good question, try to answer it on air. All that good stuff.
Dempsey was sweet. I asked for a shirt, so he brought me one.
Yay.
He's like, I didn't get you one with a Patriot one on it. That's okay. I just love when you go, whenever he goes to the draft or to the Super Bowl, I'm like, okay, bring me back a shirt. So I always have
Yeah.
You know, like when he went to Chicago for the draft, I have that one.
That's cool.
Brent brought us back beanies.
Yeah, we all saw Country's photo of that one, Country. Don't take photos of you looking down. No one ever takes a good photo of anybody looking down.
Looking down?
Like
Why?
this. That is never. That's
Oh,
never.
is it the double chin, maybe?
No, it's just never a good look.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. It's just. It's never a good look.
But I do
Oh,
love
that-
my...
you
I
can
think
just
the only
rub
time
that
it
with
is for
some
like
makeup.
pets. Like pets, that's the only time. That's a good photo.
Oh, okay. Did you just see this? McDaniels has decided not to accept the Colts head coaching job and will remain with
What?
New England.
So that means,
Belichick's gone!
Yep, that's what that means.
The
That means
Colts
Belichick's
are a
gonna go.
joke. If y'all didn't hear what
Wow.
Lauren just said, Josh McDaniels saying no to the Colts. I said why when he
McDaniels.
chose the Colts over the Titans.
Staying
Why?
in New England.
Holy shit.
By the way, did you see that somebody got a tattoo
God.
of the play? The target bunch left, Philly, Philly.
That's funny. McDaniels.
How do you? We got to come back with that.
Yeah. Come back with that one. Is that on CBS? I don't know. They haven't even. Where'd you find that?
He gone.
Twitter.
Twitter? From who?
And you know
Well, I saw Philip Heilman from the TU just tweet, golly, the Colts are train wrecks. I was like, what did I miss? Adam Schefter tweeted.
Schefter?
Stunner. Yeah. So.
Oh,
So that's what that means.
I
Billy's
love
gonna
to
be
see
gone.
these
In
iconic
4 minutes, it
franchises
has
just
almost
crumble.
5,000 retweets. Before it hits 5 minutes, it will have 5,000 retweets.
So
What a great off season so far.
the
Belichick retiring. The Colts
two
are a
Bills
friggin' mess.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
it was really
You're
good.
gonna, you will actually appreciate the two Bills once you get over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
It's smart.
Belichick's retiring.
He is.
No, that's gotta be why
Oh.
he's staying.
Well,
He's gonna retire for
I
a
don't know
year,
if he's gonna
and then he's gonna go
retire.
to another
Either he's
team.
retiring or Luck's shoulder's like really screwed up.
he's gonna get pushed out or
Yeah.
retire. Either you have two choices.
He doesn't
I'm gonna.
need this bullshit. He's won too many games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he
He
has the
went
most.
to the Timberwolves game on Thursday, the night before the biggest game of the career.
Yeah,
Like,
so
He had checked
That's-
out for a while.
so if you're the 49ers, do you
Here we
say, sorry, Shanny, we're going to hire Belly, you can be the offensive coordinator? I would. And if he doesn't want to stay, see ya. But I'm taking Belly with Garoppolo.
Or he could take what?
Ooh, the Colts
he
are
could take
gonna
the
be
job.
bad.
Oh,
The
no.
Pats are
John
gonna be
Lynch. John
bad.
Lynch just came in.
Yeah.
Time is
He could
right
take the
for the
Coughlin
job.
job, but John Lynch just got there.
Helmets
But why would
and
you fire
heels.
Colts?
Built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Well, we're coming back with some breaking news for you.
That we are. We were going to talk a little Nick Foles, Blake Bortles, but there's
We
no
got
breaking
all off-season to talk
news
that.
in that. We have a stunner, as Adam Schefter tweets, Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels has decided not to accept the Colts head coaching job and will remain with New England, sources told ESPN, which leads us to believe Bill Belichick
Is going to be
He
gone.
gone.
has just coached his last game for New England, and
And Mike Reese is apparently also reporting it.
now what?
Kraft is sweetening his contract. This is what I'm just getting all my little
Oh, yeah,
family's
Schefter has
texting.
another-
This is unbelievable.
Kraft's going to sweeten his contract. So, yeah. So when you watched,
But Schefter says at the end of this next tweet, Schefter says Bill Belichick has his offensive coordinator back. That's what Schefter
Right.
tweeted. So that
So,
leads you to believe
it could be
he
one
just
more
wants to
year.
keep- yeah,
And
McDaniels.
Belichick, when you watch the two Bills with Belichick and Parcells, Belichick got fed up after being toyed and played with by Parcells of saying, okay, one more year and then you can have the head coaching job. One more year. And that went on for 7 or 8 years that he put up with that. And so finally he's like, to hell with this. I'm gone. I'm not taking your job, and I don't want to sit here and be, your second-hand man anymore. And so I don't see Belichick doing that to McDaniels. If he goes, look, it's one more year, and then it's yours, I'm done.
Well, it sort of makes sense that Belichick has been thinking this way all season long. I mean, he traded away Garoppolo for next to nothing. He traded away Jacoby Brissett to the Colts. There's all these rumors swirling about the turmoil between Brady and Belichick, and especially with that article that released about a month ago about the strained relationship between the two of them. And so for this to happen, the Malcolm Butler getting sat in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year, one of your best defensive players, for lack of a better word, on that defense, it's still shocking that the Patriots are going to choose to walk away from historically one of the greatest coaches of all time, who probably still has it, but is just maybe mentally checked out with the organization, but in favor of a quarterback who's 40 years old and he had a really great Super Bowl, but how much longer are you going to be able to ride the coattails of Brady?
I think it'll probably be a mix of this will be their last season.
I also wonder if this is less about the Patriots and more about the Colts. I know that Josh
Why
McDaniels,
would you want the Colts?
What a mess.
So that's the thing. Like, did McDaniels look
mess.
up and say, wait a minute, am I really going to go to Indianapolis with
Right.
a quarterback who's questionable, and this could be the last time I get a head coaching position? Or do I stay and ride, the wave of Patriots success? Whether or not he becomes the head coach next year, it's still potentially I think it is still a better job to be the Patriots offensive coordinator.
Right.
Even if Brady decides to retire, than it is the head coach of the Indianapolis
But it was
Colts
so
and their disaster.
It was really strange because Josh McDaniels could have chosen the Titans. The Titans got rid of Malarkey because they thought they had a chance at Josh McDaniels.
Right.
And Josh McDaniels turned them down. And I remember asking, I don't know if it was on air or during the break.
Yeah, he has like some relationship with the GM over there. So I think he was trying to out of loyalty probably.
Yeah, but that's organizationally, the Colts are a mess. They don't know what's going on with their star quarterback. They don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to even play this season. And the owner is a basket case, addicted to painkillers and all kinds of, just strange things, strange behavior that he conducts. So it's organizationally, he's known that they've been a mess. That was my big question. Why would you choose the Colts over the Titans? And then now he's going to say a hard pass to the Colts and
After
then go back to the
accepted
Patriots?
the job earlier today. That's the part that seems strange. So what information came out to Josh between this morning or early afternoon?
Well,
and
the rumors started over the weekend.
Right, maybe Kraft and Belichick met today. Maybe it was, rumors was it was supposed to be later this week. Maybe they met today. Maybe it's like, we can't wait any longer because we don't want to lose him. And Belichick, if anything, he is, it's hard to say that he's loyal because he'll let anybody go, but he actually is very loyal and he'll send you to where he thinks would be best. And if you don't like him, he'll send you to Cleveland. Like case in point, Garoppolo went to the best place he could go. And so if he's like, look, I'll do this one more year, but I want my guy with me and you can have him next. Because Kraft always spoke a lot about how he needs a head coach he can trust and he can bond with. And McDaniels has been there for ages. So of course that would be the easiest pick of a head coach in waiting.
I was so surprised when I read. So the Super Bowl here in 2005 obviously featured the Patriots and the Eagles. The Patriots won that one. The coordinators for the Patriots in 2005, Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator. That is an insane amount of time to be coordinators. And obviously McDaniels left and came back. But for Patricia, you never get that kind of stability. So I think that also speaks to just how incredibly, not just intelligent, but good of a manager as a CEO, a head coach that Belichick is.
Right.
If Belichick was not going to be in New England next year, I joked in the break, like, if I'm San Francisco, if I'm the owner of San Francisco, I'm going to reunite Belichick with Garoppolo. And sorry, Kyle Shanahan, you can be the offensive coordinator or you can go on your merry way. But I am going to take Belichick right here, right now, and not even remotely apologize to Shanahan.
So getting this news,
I'm just laughing at the Colts right now,
dude. Right? Getting this
what
news
a joke.
As a New Englander, though, I'm going, dang, if this is going to be their last season, you watch out next year. Because I would assume that Belichick would say, if I'm going to do this one more year,
spend that money.
And Brady's going to say, I'm going to do this one more year, you're going to give me people to work with. Instead of just having Gronk and nobody else.
Brandon Cooks is a somebody else. Obviously,
he is, but
him
and Brady, despite Cooks' ridiculous yards per catch, average, they never were on the same page. Never, ever were on the same page. It was very awkward to watch those two because you can see the chemistry when it's Amendola, you can see the chemistry when it's Gronk, and you never saw it with Cooks. Now, maybe all off season, those two can work together and get it, but you just never saw it. It just is very awkward to watch.
I had to laugh when Cooks tried to leap over the Eagles' defensive
I'm like,
player.
That's a great still photo right there.
It was a great still photo. I am glad, I guess, that this news, is coming out now as far as the Colts get.
This has been the best offseason. Patriots losing, Colts losing.
Yeah, the Colts
awesome.
really get to be a laughingstock because remember, coaches have been in place for a while now. Matt Patricia, even though he couldn't technically be hired, the Lions knew that they were going to hire him for quite some time.
They probably knew like the Colts knew.
Yeah, it's been about a month. All right, so going back to our quarterback conversation, Nick Foles, Blake Bortles. Who would you rather have?
Foles.
Oh, Foles by a mile.
Both of y'all would rather have Nick
by
Foles?
A mile.
Interesting. Why?
Look what he did.
He won the Super Bowl.
He's a smart quarterback. He
can throw the deep ball.
Yeah,
play action.
It's sad because you don't want to say he could throw a spiral and but he makes decisions. He knows what's coming. He looked like he was prepared. He knew, the defense's setup that was coming. He knew the scheme.
And the team showed confidence in him by allowing him to get creative with the plays, by allowing him to take those advantages, to have the trick plays. They showed that confidence in him versus the Jaguars, who have played with kid gloves all season long with Bortles at the helm. I love everything that Bortles did this year. I think that he showed a side of his career that we have never seen before. But with that said, I think that the Jaguars have gotten the best out of them that they're ever going to get out of Bortles. I'm not going to be mad if he's our starting quarterback, but if you can ask me if I can upgrade the most important position in football on the Jaguars team who's built to win right now, I say you got to do it. You got to go after Foles. You got to go after Cousins, and you got to show this team, show this franchise, show the city that you're ready to win, and you're ready to win now.
See, I would rather have both, and I think you could potentially manage that too.
I wouldn't be mad if Bortles was a backup.
I mean,
not a $19 million backup, but a backup.
Have them compete for the starting job. And, you read things like Nathaniel Hackett wasn't able to fully utilize the playbook with Blake Bortles. I don't think anyone truly knows that because they're not in those meetings. They don't have the playbook in front of them. So I think it's also so easy it has been to criticize Blake Bortles and everything kind of surrounding him. But I wouldn't be ready to just say, all right, definitely Nick Foles over Bortles tomorrow. I don't know that Nick Foles has shown us enough. Did he win with an amazing team? Absolutely. And he put the ball in tight windows. He was accurate, all that great stuff. But he also had all of these weapons around him and the great defense. I think give Blake Bortles, Zach Ertz, and Brent Selleck, and Trey Burton, and Alshon Jeffrey. You are going to see a guy look like a different quarterback.
But if you put a different quarterback in there, we beat New England. Any quarterback.
With the weapons Jacksonville has currently.
Oh, see, I don't think the reason the Jaguars lost the Patriots is because of Blake Bortles.
You can't expand the game plan any more than what he can already take in his brain. And I feel like the playbook for Bortles is written in crayons, and the playbook for Foles is a mountain of papers, in calligraphy.
What is his passer rating in the fourth quarter when the Jaguars are losing? It's something like 30%. Bortles has never put the team on his back. 2 minutes left. You got to go down. You got to win the game. He's never done that. And it shows a lot that in those situations, the Jaguars do not trust him in order to do that. They got conservative in several different plays, in several different games throughout this entire season. I mean, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time. I mean, Bortles did have a really good season, a surprisingly good season, but it was still average at best.
His best receiver wasn't there. His other two good receivers were banged up. I don't think that, and he doesn't have a tight end anywhere near the other ones in the playoffs. Look at all of them. Kyle Rudolph. I just mentioned the Eagles guys. Obviously Gronkowski. The Vikings have, I already said Kyle Rudolph. All of the other teams that are in the playoffs have fantastic tight ends and guys that can run over guys and the quarterback trusts them. Tell me when Blake Bortles has had a situation like that. Am I saying he's the best quarterback to lead them in the fourth quarter? I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I don't think we can properly evaluate them in the same regard.
Well, you know what we're not going to have this year or any year after that is that we're not going to have another season where no defensive starter misses significant time. Mm-hmm. That was a rare occasion for this to happen. And almost like a silver platter was handed to this team with the struggles that the Titans went through, that the Colts went through, and Deshaun Watson going down. This was a perfect opportunity for this Jaguars team to seize control of the division, and they did that, but the better quarterback is always going to win in the playoffs. That's usually the way it goes.
And A-Rob going down, he was the lone one that was against Bortles.
Right.
That would always be boisterous like that. He's not.
But he
good.
had a fantastic training camp.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just
I don't know the training camps.
I don't know if that would have really mattered. Like Bortles had a horrendous training camp, and A-Rob was great. And A-Rob goes down. All of a sudden, Bortles gets good. Like I wonder. I don't know. A coincidence, probably, but I don't know how much A-Rob would have helped.
I think it was a confidence issue throughout the entire season. It was almost like you're treating Bortles like almost, and I don't want to compare him to this, but it's kind of true, but you're comparing him to like a dog that pees on the rug or he does really good. And you got to say, good job, really, really good job. And you really have to pump up his confidence in order to get the best out of him, because when he crumbles, boy, does he crumble.
Yeah, and I mean, he admitted when he hears the boos.
I mean, it's only natural.
He didn't crumble in the postseason on the biggest stage, and
because he had a historically good defense.
Size, but a defense that actually kind of collapsed against the Steelers at times and against the Patriots for sure.
But that's what happens when you're playing really good offenses in the playoffs. You're not playing the AFC South teams twice a year that are a disaster.
That's, I think, the point about the Super Bowl. The Eagles didn't collapse against the Patriots, the best offense in the NFL, and that's where I don't think I will be able to comfortably say Bortles is not the starting quarterback next year until someone shows me a quarterback that is leaps and bounds better than him.
So,
and for me, that's Drew Brees, who Jacksonville's not going to get, and we're obviously not going to get anybody better than Drew Brees.
Same amount of money, contract-wise, nothing else changes on the team. You can have Blake Bortles and Nick Foles. Who are you picking?
I'm going to take Blake Bortles.
Wow, I'm really surprised.
That's how I feel after watching this season. I think Nick Foles was put in the perfect position. Don't
you remember how well he did?
1 year. He played 1 year well.
And his numbers were phenomenal.
They were 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But I still think that he has been helped and people have fallen in love with him.
And Bortles hasn't?
Just saw.
Bortles hasn't been helped all season by a historically good defense.
He was helped at times, absolutely, by a great defense, but he did not have the same type of weapons that Foles had. Well, luckily it's not us making the decision, it's people who know a lot more than us, and we are here to sit and talk about it, and that's the fun part, is we get to debate it. We have an hour to go. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL. A hidden gem at the beaches, the preserve at Ponte Vedra Lakes is a must-see. This is Lauren Brooks for Dreamfinders Homes. Do not make a home buying decision without visiting this beautiful community. Located far enough off the beaten path for your privacy, but still close to dining and shopping. Starting in the mid-400s, you'll choose from 6 new coastal floor plans. The luxury outdoor patio with fire pit and grill is perfect for me. It will be for you too. Affordable coastal living from Dreamfinders Homes.
All right, so Scott, my brother, went to Marshall. At the same time, Chad O'Shea, who was the wide receiver coach for New England, was next in line to be the OC. And Scott's also dealt a lot with Troy Brown because his family still lives there. And so he's talked with Troy because his son's gotten in trouble a couple times. So he's gotten him out of trouble,
Sure.
So when they went to the AFC Championship game, he rode in with Troy Brown, like in his car, so he gets all his news from either Troy or from Chad. So these are sources. So this is what Scott said. It's simple. Josh takes over next year, promised by Kraft. I said, is that from Troy? He said, yep.
After next year or next year?
After next year.
See, I think Belichick's gone. I don't think that they.
Yeah, Belichick his contract is through next 2018. So that's it.
I don't know that he even coaches in this coming up season.
I
think he leaves. You think?
Mm-hmm. I think
I can't fire him, and he's not going to walk away.
No,
I think that he's done self-sabotage, not self-sabotage, but team sabotage, sort of sending a message throughout the entire season.
So this is what Troy said, Scott. He said, I don't know what's going on. I saw earlier where he was announced as a Colts coach. I also heard he had pressure on because the Colts were putting coaches in place already, like the OC. Then I heard there was pressure because they weren't sure what Bill was going to do, stay or go. It's all playing out now. That's what Troy says. So, I can't believe the Colts were doing that. Did you hear that?
No, I'm listening to Tyler.
The Colts were already putting coaches in place.
Oh, yeah, they had an announcement officially on their Twitter.
No, like other coaches, not McDaniels.
Oh.
They were putting his coaches in place. They were hiring people.
Oh, Josh
without
McDaniels
him.
guys.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
Why would you do that? The head coach should be able to pick it.
The Colts are a disaster of an organization, and they're not going to do well until Jim Irsay gives control of the team to his daughters.
Nick Foles, except for the one that currently Blake Bortles has him on their team.
I like when people call and argue.
I heard the phone ringing as soon as the segment ended. I said, oh, people are going to be upset. This is going to be a debate all off season.
You want to talk halftime next?
I don't remember where we are.
Because
we are at halftime.
with the breaking news, we kind of skipped that one.
Stupid.
He just called somebody stupid.
Tyler's getting into it.
Stupid. That's what I thought he said.
So we're going to have to deal with this Bortles talk all off season. And after that last segment, Tyler's arguing with the caller about
What happens
Bortles.
first? I forget. What happens first? Free agency?
Let me show you.
Free agency is March 14th at 4 p.m. when free agency starts. And then the draft. Then, or wait, no, the draft is in
Nick Foles was throwing guys open
April, May.
yesterday.
When is it this year? It's moved back and forth.
So I guess this caller is for Bortles?
Yeah.
The numbers show it. You don't want to talk about facts. There's numbers that say Blake is one of the worst defensive scorers in the league.
Fake news, Tyler.
I feel bad because I don't want to diss him because he did
I-
work
yeah.
hard and he didn't really lose any games.
Listen, I don't want to badmouth the kid either. But
You compared him to a dog.
yeah,
Well, I love dogs.
yeah, you can still like dogs. I just don't want you leading my team. I want to win. I do not
look
give
at-
a shit about the name on the back of the jersey. It's about the name on the front.
Look at Tony Romo. They were never gonna win a Super Bowl with Tony Romo.
You have
But
to
he
make
is-
those tough choices.
He was a phenomenal quarterback,
Mhm.
but you're never gonna win with him.
Mm-mm.
You know, if you give any kind of credit to Peyton Manning for that win in Denver, I can't help you because there's no helping you there because he did not win that one. It was all defense. He just didn't screw up.
Right.
That's what it was.
He was a really smart game manager.
Right. He knows what's coming, so he can audible.
Right.
I just don't believe he can audible.
No.
I just don't see him audible.
And the coaching staff doesn't have that kind of confidence in him.
Facts. I mean, I'm gonna have to hang up on you because you're too stupid to talk to.
You know what's sad? I'm gonna get a phone call. That's. I'm gonna get that phone call. You know that, right? They're gonna call the front office.
They're all morons.
Yeah.
Did you get?
Most
Just say
radio
10
callers
XL,
are
can I
morons.
place you on hold? And then just put him on hold.
Do you guys ever do like the pre-recordings? Like call a voicemail and leave a message or something?
Midday Chalk does that.
Ooh, Brittany.
By women, for women. And men. Helmets and heels. Built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Donna Murphy, Blythe Brumley, Lauren Brooks, and Tyler Devitt in there manning the phones. We assume everyone loves us, but occasionally we have callers who disagree with parts of things that we say.
And that's fine.
Or everything that we say. I think that caller is pro Bortles and Tyler is not pro Bortles.
If the
and
caller tried arguing with me, he said, you're out of your mind if you think Blake Bortles is worse than Nick Foles. I mean, by what metric are you trying to make that
Your
argument?
2 eyes and a brain.
Yes, he was throwing balls that Blake has wished in his entire career he could throw last night or on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think my part of the argument is I think you're looking at a quarterback who's going to get better. I think all of the change at coordinator, I think there was some potential maturity issues. And now I think you're seeing a guy who's becoming more of a professional, who's studying the craft. And I think that he is going to continue to get better. And he has things that he can do that Nick Foles can't do. That's where I stand. But I'm never going to say that I'm 100% right because a year ago I was telling everyone how I wished the Jaguars had any quarterback other than Blake Bortles. In fact, I was completely for the Jaguars drafting Deshaun Watson. The two of you wanted Fournette, and I was
I didn't
so
want
against,
Fournette. Don't put that.
I wanted Fournette.
Yeah, don't put that on me.
I thought that's who you were
No,
drafting.
ma'am.
Oh, who are you drafting?
Whoever can help with the team.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
I
remember
was
you were
pro
Fournette. Okay, I was definitely Deshaun Watson. I don't
No,
remember
I
who
thought
your
you were
take
for
was.
the running back for Minnesota,
Well,
Dalvin
they had-
Cook. You were
No,
very
no,
much
no,
in the
no.
Dalvin Cook.
For my first pick, I
Yeah.
wanted Deshaun Watson for sure.
Well, I remember you two having a significant debate about Dalvin Cook
Yeah.
and Fournette
Oh,
going up
and
against each
I
other.
won that.
Dalvin Cook,
That's the only draft take I
would
remember.
Take the running back. I would take
Right.
a running back later because I thought Dalvin Cook might be there later. That's where
I won
wanted
that
Deshaun
bet
Watson with
since-
the first pick.
I won that bet since Dalvin Cook
Number
went
4.
down hurt.
Yeah.
I said, see, I win.
Yeah, I know we had a debate about which
Yeah.
player the Jaguars should draft.
I
I
was
was
very
all
for
for
that.
Deshaun Watson. I don't remember. Now I don't
I
remember.
don't know. Yeah, I
who
don't
you
think
had.
anybody was against Deshaun Watson at all.
I was Fournette. I
Yeah.
didn't want Watson. I wanted Fournette.
See, I was questioning a running back that high, but at that position, it's a crapshoot. But with all that stuff about Bortles, yeah, it's all nice and well that he bounced back this year and he's becoming a student of the game. He's doing the things that he should have done his entire career. But at the end of the day, I want to win, and I do not care who the name on the back of the jersey is unless you can make my team significantly better. And I think Nick Foles and Kirk Cousins can make this team significantly better because they're ready to win now. I'm not trying to wait on a project to get mature and to become a student of the game. That's nice. You might be a great backup for another team, or you might be a starter for another team. That's awesome. And I, like I said, I'm not going to be mad if he's the opening day starter for this Jaguars team, but if we can make an upgrade right now, I'm all for Nick Foles or for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and I think everybody's for an upgrade if they think there's an upgrade out there. And I think that's where the debate happens. A lot of people think Cousins is better than Bortles. And certainly a lot of people think that Foles is better than Bortles. And I guess the one good thing that I keep coming back to is the fact that this administration made a lot of decisions and choices that I did not agree with a year ago, and a lot of them turned out right. So I'm happy now that I can trust in the staff that's in place versus the last 4 years when it was, 3-13,
I agree.
2-14, 5-11. So I feel a lot better, and I don't feel like I am the one that's right. I feel like they know more than I do, and I used to feel, honestly, like I knew more than our freaking executive staff did at times because of some of the draft choices that were
Sports
made.
fans, we always know more.
Absolutely. For sure.
Always.
When it comes to the halftime, did you just play? I had to go back in my brain for a second.
Britney.
Did you just play Britney Tyler
Yeah.
because Justin Timberlake performed at the halftime?
No, I didn't, but that is a good connection, yeah.
Best couple ever.
You just got to take credit for it. Yes, I did.
All right, so Justin Timberlake's halftime performance. Donna, what'd you think?
I was very disappointed.
Really?
Very disappointed. Look, I know he just dropped an album. Don't play me your new stuff because I don't know your new stuff.
But he played like the first 5 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes was a montage of all of the hits.
Not
that he
the
played.
opening song. That opening song
Yeah, but-
wasn't his first song, and I couldn't even hear. First, I couldn't hear. I didn't know half the songs. I was very confused because obviously everything you have the track is playing and we can hear your voice, but you're not singing. And occasionally he would sing with it. So I was surprised by that. I'm
Well,
like,
that's all Super Bowl performances. Nobody performs at the Super Bowl.
Gaga last year nailed it.
I don't know that she sang that live.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
Are you?
But
I'm
she-
gonna Google
a
that.
lot of times she was
I
at
don't
the-
think anybody sings it live.
No, I know
anymore.
that. I know he did some of it live because I know when he was at the piano. Which, by the way, bravo! You want to do a Prince thing, but I don't know that song. Feel free to do a Prince song. We all know that's kind of creepy. Him singing a song about what he dies for when he's dead.
Well, and I know Prince in the past had called holograms demonic.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
So
he
I
said
do
that.
think, and I know other, I think Prince's sister came out and said, like, Prince would have been fine with it. And,
Yeah.
And I get the fact Prince is from Minneapolis, so it certainly was a tribute to him. That part of it aside, I was hoping for a live guest. I really wanted to see, like, a Chris Stapleton or, obviously not Janet
Because I
Jackson,
like
but-
their song together. That
Oh,
one was,
But
yeah,
that's
that was a
not
very
that's
good
not
one.
Super Bowl mood. Like Super Bowl halftime, you want to get people hype, and that's with the exception of the Filthy song. That's one of the tracks off of his newest album. With the exception of that song, I think the rest of the album is really well done. And he played all of his hits over the past 20 years or so of his career. I thought after the performance was over, I thought it was one of the best halftime performances I've ever seen.
See, and I didn't like it either, but mine was because I felt like he was far more focused on his dancing than his actual singing and the music selection. It was like, well, which songs are going to work best for me as far as dancing goes? And dance all you want, that's fine. But to me, I'm much more into the actual live music part of it. And the other thing you said about the new album, I read that it's like his worst criticized album yet. I found that really interesting. I'm not a pop music person, so I won't listen to the whole thing. But I found it fascinating that, you know, he drops this Man in the Woods and it had terrible acclaim, and then all the stuff swirling about Prince, whether or not he was going to do the hologram, and then the actual performance. Other than You, Blythe, from when I just Googled it quickly this morning, every review I read was terrible. Like, that was a
of
horrible
course, everybody
performance.
hates everything on the internet, but
see, everybody loves Justin Timberlake, so I didn't expect
It was
that.
disappointing. I think everybody loves him, and he is such a great entertainer. But then you're left with that, and I was more confused and
really?
Then I was like, that was so fantastic.
Justin Timberlake, when he came out with those 4 guys behind him, and I thought for a second it was going to be an NSYNC reunion, my heart sank.
And that's why I was like, boo.
And then a little while later, you know, I thought he was going to go to Janet. I thought that Janet would make a surprise appearance. That was a little shocking that they didn't bring in an extra act, because it's usually a couple people, 2 or 3 people that perform. But for Super Bowl performances, it's very, very normal, especially for people who dance while they're singing. You can't sing and dance really well at the same time.
You can.
Not dancing like Justin Timberlake.
My girl Pink can swing upside down and sing
well,
like
she
that.
didn't sing the national anthem very well.
Well,
she was just standing there.
Sick, so she had
She was
the
sick,
flu all
but
week.
I thought she did a great job.
No, she didn't hit those high notes at the end.
At the end, no, because you
No,
saw her
she
take the
messed
cough
it
drop.
up.
You saw her take the cough drop out right before she started singing.
She took her gum out, I thought.
No, it was a cough drop.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
gum.
no, I thought she did a great job. I could tell that she was breathing at different points when she wouldn't normally. But yeah, she had the flu, and some people would say, well, then don't sing the national anthem. But when it's such an honor, you may never be asked again. I think you say to yourself, I'm going to power through it, I'm going to do all that I can. I thought she did a fantastic job because she didn't go too over the top. That's what I don't like national anthems, when I feel like the person makes it about themselves versus the point.
Isn't that kind of making it about yourself if you're going to sing the national anthem even though your voice isn't all the way there?
Oh, she's powering through. It's just, she means like doing the runs, and which made me laugh. Like, I'm listening to her right now because I love,
you don't
I love
sound
my
good.
girl.
I like Pink, but she didn't hit those notes at the end, so it wasn't a flawless performance.
No, I know she didn't hit it at the end. I was like, oh, but she made it, and she performed the night before at some special concert in.
Well, she probably shouldn't have done that either if she was sick.
And I forgot what it was called, something, but yeah, and I don't know. It's just I wanted to be entertained, and I was
thoroughly entertained by Justin Timberlake, and everybody that was at the party that I was at was thoroughly entertained. And the girls that were watching, even one of the guys off to the side, like, made a comment like, "Y'all don't look at us like you're looking at Justin Timberlake." But I loved the dancing. I loved all of the songs that he played. I've been a JT fan since he was on Mickey Mouse Club, so I will fight to the death for Justin Timberlake.
I think that's why I was so disappointed. Like, as soon as that got announced, I was so stoked, and I'm like, please bring on Andy Samberg. You know, I want to see Rapper's Delight with Jimmy Fallon. I want to see fun. I want to see
Fallon, get out of here.
I want to see I want to be entertained. I want to have fun, and I was like,
thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I would call it underwhelming and lackluster for the expectations that I had of what he can do. And some of it's not his fault. The acoustics at the beginning weren't great, and it didn't come through the television great.
No, because you couldn't hear it.
Yeah, but I just felt like instead of spending, 30 seconds on the selfie with the kid, which was adorable and all, I just feel like spend that 30 seconds really belting out something that I get to hear. Like, stop dancing for maybe a song.
He sat at a computer, he danced at a mic stand, which was that was my favorite
part.
Piano? The dancing with the mic stand.
Sat at a computer?
No, sat at a
piano?
Yeah, piano.
Okay.
Did I say sat at a computer?
Yeah. It's okay. I'm like, wait, I must have missed a different show then.
Did you guys see the video of the crowd in the stadium at the Viking Stadium? It was completely quiet. I mean, there's people on the field, obviously, on TV that were into it because they were on TV. But everyone in the stands was like silent, completely silent.
Really?
I saw that. Yeah.
I saw that tweet with one of the guys. He's like, "Yeah, everybody here is quiet. Nobody likes this."
I wonder if they were just straining to hear it, maybe, because like we said, it was just really difficult. I said immediately within the first 20 seconds, I was like, "There's something wrong with his microphone. This is not good. You can't have all the practice they put into it, and that's not obviously, again, his fault, but there's an issue somewhere where it's not coming through as clearly as it should, and everyone does appreciate his talent, so they want to be able to get the most out of him.
I mean, between that and then the commercials just let me down. I'm like, man, it's like nothing funny and fun about this.
I'm into the commercials too. I thought the Doritos was really well done. I thought a lot of the movie.
I didn't even see a Doritos commercial.
With not Tyrion Lannister. I'm thinking of Game of Thrones, but it's what is his name? Peter Dinklage and Morgan Freeman. Yeah,
Mountain Dew.
Doritos and Mountain Dew did a commercial
together. Which was the first time that a brand used like both of its kind of major labels.
I was a fan of I don't want to say it because some people are listening, of the Echo Dot on Amazon.
Oh, that was cute too.
I hate when people say it and then they're listening to it and she starts playing. So you know what I'm talking about.
The Eli Manning and Odell Beckham
that
with the Dirty
fantastic.
Dancing. That was good. Mm-hmm. The Solo teaser trailer. That was really good. That's a new Star Wars movie for non-sports fans out there. Or for sports fans out there.
Sports fans, non-movie fans. All right, we have more to get into when it comes to the Super Bowl. One more segment to go on that, and then we'll get into some other stuff. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
The station with the best Jaguars coverage.
What the hell all y'all people were watching? I loved it.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Baloo here for Remedy Staffing. If you're looking for a job full of part-time,
I didn't care.
I mean, if he was going to bring anybody out, it would have been Janet.
But she's banned.
No, she's been banned. On Jacksonville's
she's been banned
most trusted. Allow them to do all the work for you. Just go to RemedyStaffJax.com.
Is your home one of the thousands that didn't sell in 2017?
I didn't know she was banned, like outright banned. Fuck the NFL for banning her.
That didn't sell the first time. Sometimes it takes new ideas and a new approach, and that's what we do. And that's why people who couldn't sell their home choose the Selling with CC team.
So ridiculous.
You got stuck with a weak agent. It's time to make a change. Call the Selling with CC team 302-4800. That's 302-4800 or visit sellingwithcc.com.
Keller Williams, Jacksonville Realty.
Yeah, I mean, it's disgusting.
What are you looking for in your next vehicle?
And the fact that it was going on at the same time that the Penn State scandal was going on, and the fact that it didn't stop
title history to ensure it's clean. We thoroughly inspect each area of the vehicle, covering more than 130 points, and bring the vehicle up to Volvo factory specifications. Then, we certify the vehicle and issue a 7-year, 100,000-mile exclusionary warranty to the new owner. When you purchase a certified pre-owned Volvo,
I'm sure they had to know.
I don't think they've gotten to the investigation of the USA Gymnastics, other than the fact that the board resigned because they obviously have found enough. I think the next step is to then figure out who in that world knew.
There was one story that he assaulted her with the father in the room, and the father didn't know. That's how sneaky he was with his behavior.
I mean,
another father.
I guess I'm a little confused in the sense of like.
I mean,
he's not a gynecologist, so
right. But you saw like he drew up his own.
Yeah.
And he explained to the parents why he had to do it.
And see,
so like I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna abuse your daughter, and then I'm gonna do it. And his audacity of saying, I don't want to listen to any more victim testimony because it's affecting my mental health. So, like, someone just put a bullet in his skull and be done with it. I don't want my taxpayer dollars paying for this dude.
Well, I say put him in the same cell as, Sandusky. Just have those two enjoy each other.
Well, maybe just let him go to like a high security prison for like a year. Let him get raped a bunch, and then put a bullet in his skull. That's what I would, if I was ruler of the world.
So the two bills. Did you see when they talked about Kraft? What the league told Kraft about Parcells. Mm-hmm. Kraft, I didn't know. Like, I thought Kraft's beef with the league was from, Deflategate and whatnot. Oh, no.
I gotta watch this.
You do. He got screwed over by the league back in the heyday, and they basically told him, tough shit. This is how it's going to be.
That's when I learned the NFL is not pure.
Yeah.
He should know that as a businessman.
No, this was a few years into. And with Parcells, I think it was Parcells going to the Jets. Is that what it is?
I don't remember now when he said it. I watched it in 2 parts.
Right. And then they try, and then they
make on ESPN?
And then they do the same thing to Kraft a couple years later. Like, it was so, man. Yeah, I was baffled by it. It was a lot of fun to watch. Even TJ was like, that was really good.
Because I like smart football people, and I've watched both of their football lives before.
Well, Lawrence Taylor, so, you know, he was the defensive coordinator for the Giants when Lawrence Taylor was there.
Yeah.
And Lawrence Taylor said when we were playing, there wasn't one game we were not prepared for. So this is how much he would prepare back then. And Lawrence Taylor to say that, I'm like, so he's been doing this his way forever.
I liked when they did the Lions story. Like, he wanted to play the dime package more, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
And Parcells, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Girls just want to talk football. More helmets and heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
Now on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. My name is Blythe, and I'm joined alongside Donna Murphy and Lauren Brooks. And what are we talking about this segment? Because we've been kind of all over the place.
We really have
been. The most annoying part of the Super Bowl.
The most annoying part of the Super Bowl. All right, we're going to jump to this segment because for me, I guess, well, for y'all, halftime
was not the most annoying.
No?
No, it wasn't annoying to me. It was just not as exciting as I thought it would be. But no, to me, the most annoying part is every time there's a famous person in, whether it's
they gotta show
the owner's box, or in the crowd, they show them time and time again. Like, I love Bradley Cooper. I like him a lot. I don't care. Once I see him one time, I don't need to see him the rest of the time. And I understand, like, showing Giselle, that's one thing. That's the wife. I get that. And she's also smoking hot. But, again, Bradley Cooper, I don't need to see him time and time again. When Kenny Chesney's in there, I don't care. A-Rod, J-Lo, I don't care. Stop showing
Chesney
that.
There?
I don't know if he was, but I saw a picture that A-Rod tweeted or posted or something, and it was like Alex Rodriguez, J-Lo, Kenny Chesney, and Kraft, like a picture of them. I don't know, it was from this Super Bowl, but it just made me think, like, again, I don't care.
Oh, yikes. What about, the Super Bowl, to me, that's my biggest issue with it, is that it's such a corporate affair. And so the debate sort of went on earlier in the year, or I guess just a few weeks ago, that if the Jaguars actually won, would you want to go to the Super Bowl? And I wouldn't, just because of that vibe, that it's all corporate, it's not really the avid fans, and then the fans that you do see, like a Bradley Cooper, who looked like he was into the game, it just feels inauthentic.
By the way, Brent he's gone to the last 6. He said that it's been increasingly more fans than corporations, and this year by far the most fans, the loudest fans for sure, with the Eagles fans.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I think it is starting to get away from that, which is nice.
I think maybe it has to do with the Eagles being there, and that was their run. What about you, Donna? What was annoying?
Honestly, and this may make you laugh, but how they kept hyping up and talking about at the end, well, Brady's got the ball. This is just gonna happen. Brady, I'm like, stop it. It's not. Stop it. Stop it. It's not gonna happen. Get that out of your head. Like
that's in everybody's head.
Did you mute the commentators?
No, I didn't. But it was funny with the 2 touchdowns or catch or non-catch. You know, how they were both like, I don't know. I'm like, I know. And if this even goes the Patriots' ways, it's just, this is what, like, that was annoying to me, because I'm like, I'm going to have to hear this. I don't want to hear this crap. So I don't know, weird things like that. It's just more about the Patriots that annoyed me.
Yeah, because your team's actually in it.
Well, my most annoying moment is probably from the Kardashian family, or the Jenner family, I guess I should say, because after months of not being in the spotlight, which is very unusual for this family, it was Kylie Jenner. She announced her pregnancy and birth of her child with artist Travis Scott afterwards. And she said she wanted to keep it super private and super unique to just them. And
is he a music artist?
Yes.
Okay.
But then she announces it afterwards with a full documentary of her entire pregnancy and the birth of their child. And so people have been asking, sort of the hashtag of where's Kylie? She was missing from the famous, Kardashian Christmas picture. And she wasn't on this last season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Not that I watch the show, but I do keep up with them. which is weird. But yeah, it was that was definitely the most annoying part. But a part of me wondered, like, do you sort of give her credit for keeping it a secret this whole time?
I never give anybody credit that deals with the Kardashians. They get zero amount of effort from me, and that's about it.
Well, I read that, I had no idea that this happened during the Super Bowl, but I read that she had not wanted to announce it because she's only 20 and she knew she'd get criticism for that. And so that part I do understand. But for a family or two families, whatever, I know Prosser calls them the coven. I think that's the perfect word for it. For the coven to maximize their exposure to the world and maximize profits from that, and then to kind of recoil into privacy in a very big moment in your life, and then to try and ask people like to leave you alone. You should understand why the world is craving information about you, because A, it was leaked apparently to tabloids, so everybody knew she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And B, you put yourself in this position by trying to get all of those followers on social media. You created this, so to me, I don't mind if she wanted to try and keep most of it private, but I do think if you are asking everyone to watch your every move and then all of a sudden to kind of run and hide, you are going to get some backlash for that.
Well, I guess, and to sort of play the other side for a hot second, she said that she didn't want to live the pregnancy in the public spotlight because she didn't want the baby to feel every emotion and feel every stress and all that jazz. But
Donna, we've never been pregnant. Can you speak to that?
I mean, I'm talking about this, and I'm caring less and less with every word that comes out of my mouth.
I mean, yeah, it's so stupid.
Your baby feels stressed when you are
if you're stressed, yes, I understand. But look, now the baby is here. Are you gonna keep the baby in the house the entire life? Like, is that what you're gonna do? You're never gonna let them outside? I'm sorry. This is just. How old is she?
20 years old.
Thoughts on Kylie naming her daughter Stormy?
She named the kid? I didn't even know
Stormy,
that.
Yes. I don't know if it's an ode to the porn star in the news, Stormy Daniels, or what.
There's a porn star in the news?
With the president, of course, yeah.
I had a friend in high school named Storm, so...
You can see how little I paid.
Well, moving from one annoying person to another, Gisele, Tom Brady's wife, had to comfort her crying children after the game and congratulated Eagles fans both in person and on Instagram. Does this make you love her, or are you sort of tired of the perfect family vibe with them?
I mean, bravo, that's what she has to do. Look, the kids, I look at all my nieces and nephews, and no one's older than 16. They don't know anything other than Brady and this winning franchise.
See, and that's what annoys me the most.
Right.
Because when I heard her say that, she had to tell her kids
they don't know
sometimes we don't win. Sometimes the other team loses. I'm like, listen, these little kids hit the genetic lottery with a supermodel wife, the greatest quarterback of all time, and they're crying because they've never known not winning a Super Bowl.
So you're
Give
just
me a
bitter.
break.
You're bitter and
Absolutely.
jealous. That's all that is.
I'm just going to make fun of Tom Brady's kids for that, and then he'll never come on the show.
I thought she did it exactly the best way. Like, we can't always win. That's the way it is. We can't always win. And I loved that she went and congratulated the Eagles fans and the Eagles players in person. And I heard that they were starstruck. Like, man, all right. Like, you can't hate on Brady now, can you? Because he's going home to that. Like, Brady's pretty cool, man.
I think she is an easy person for a lot of women to hate, right? Because she has this super successful career. Her husband has a super successful career. And I'm sure they have, beautiful homes and all that jazz, blah, blah, blah. But she's not someone that I want to dislike. Like the group we were just talking about, the Kardashian-Jenner group, that is so easy for me to be like, oh my gosh, nothing will surprise me that comes out about them. I could care less also. I think Gisele has a really interesting way about her, and maybe it is because she's Brazilian and was raised in a different culture. But I think she's really gracious, and it doesn't seem like all the fame has gone to her head. You don't hear about these stories where, she's like a Britt McHenry, like, don't you know who I am, and stuff like that. You don't hear that about her whatsoever.
Gisele, I don't care about. It's the kids that are upset with the losses because a part of me really wanted the Tom Brady and Gisele to film their little kids crying, like those other parents that film their kids after tough losses of them crying, just so I could watch the little spoiled brats cry about never losing and hitting the genetic lottery.
Because they don't know anything. Any kid
at that age out of here.
Cry.
Go make them play a sport. Make them lose.
You would have been the person that commented on Brady's kid last week when we talked about it. And I would have ripped your head off for that because it's stupid. A kid is acting like a kid. They don't know anything. They think that every year, yes, my daddy plays in the Super Bowl. They don't know anything
His
other
daughter,
than that.
When you
daughter,
choose...
for reference, was called an annoying pissant.
I mean, in my opinion on that, because I heard that story come out and I was like, ooh, I'm glad I don't have to talk about this tonight. But when I heard it, I just thought, well, that radio station is going to lose that connection, and probably rightfully so, because you're getting hand-fed stories from Tom Brady. You sort of got to play to that relationship. You can't criticize him. And he made an offhanded remark, and the kid was probably acting a little...
No.
I didn't watch it.
Exactly, so don't comment on it.
Well,
don't give me a
why did he call the kid a pissant?
All she did was try to get his attention, and not in a. She wasn't having a fit. She wasn't crying. She wasn't anything. That's all she was.
From the other room, all she said was "Daddy, Daddy." And
this is coming from a 23-year-old who doesn't have any family, who doesn't have a wife,
but that's what happens when you let reality TV into your home. You allow that kind of criticism to happen.
It literally was 2 seconds, and he judged a 5-year-old off 2 seconds, and you're judging these kids for crying because they don't know anything other than winning.
Would it be different?
I don't understand.
Would it be different if that WEEI host said he was being a brat or she was being a brat? Is it the
pissant? Because I don't even know what a pissant is.
Well, I do think that he used, if he had just said annoying, I don't think it would have necessarily made the headlines that it did. I do think pissant is a really harsh word that you would not.
I don't want anybody calling my kid that.
Yeah.
Well, you're not putting your kid on reality television either.
No, but I bring him here sometimes, and ain't nobody gonna say anything about my kids. Say something about me all you want.
But I also think if the child had been acting like a brat, and he called her a brat, then I understand, and you may not choose.
But
to
kids
do that
act like brats. Let's not sit here and pretend like every child acts perfectly 100% of the day. And I'm not going to say that this guy was in the right to make that comment about the kid, but when you put your family, which Brady has never done, when you put your family out on reality television, that's the kind of criticism that you're going to get in return. And like it or not, that's what happens whenever you put your business out there.
Well, first off, she was on there for 2 whole freaking seconds.
And that's what happened. Brady's never done that, though.
I understand
He's
that.
very private.
The comment started with you talking about the kids crying after the game. You got to understand. All right?
I want to understand what that life is like.
Not knowing anything other than winning. You're going to be
upset. And I'm saying,
upset.
these kids should appreciate at 3 years old.
No,
they got it.
Oh my God.
They hit a genetic lottery.
If you ever become a mom, I feel bad for you.
But no, I can't. Losing is a very important part of life.
That's what she's teaching them.
I get it. Calm down. I get that Giselle is using this as a teachable moment, but I'm speaking from a bitter Jaguars fan who's jealous that these kids hit the genetic lottery and they're mad about losing a Super Bowl because that's all they've ever known.
What about Brady kissing his son?
But I bet there were a lot of other...
the Brady Kissgate scandal, I guess, so to say.
Oh, don't even start me with that.
That was a big topic in Boston.
I bet there were Falcons... Yeah, I bet there were kids of Falcons players last year who lost, and they hadn't been used to losing. I think there are kids of players who cry when their team doesn't.
We get it. Y'all are fans of the Brady kids. We get it.
I'm just saying she did the right thing.
Anything positive about them. I just decided
it got super serious, and I didn't mean it to get this serious, but them kids need to experience losing, and I'm glad that they did.
And that's fine. Your question was, are you sick of the perfect family, or do you like how she handled it?
That's not my question. That's y'all's question. Y'all put in the
Well, you worded it that way, and my answer was yes, I love how she did it. And you were like, no, they're soft. They're blah, blah, blah.
And for the record, your questions were about Doritos and Doug Peterson, but you skipped back to Giselle, so somewhere we got lost. Anyway, let's wrap the show with the Winter Olympics and a whole lot more. You're listening to Helmets and Heels built by Dream Vendors Homes on 1010XL.
Show's been derailed all show.
I'm going to lose my voice for sure.
This wasn't even my segment to come back from.
No, because we pushed everything down. It was your segment. We were doing 8.
Well, little heads up next time. Little heads up next time.
We talked about it when she started hosting. She said, we'll just push everything back.
Well, we missed a couple stories in there, too. Minnesota Nice, Giselle.
Yeah, we just ran out of time, so we just skipped down to that segment.
And I said, I don't even know what we're talking about this segment. And then he said, most annoying part of the Super Bowl. So that made me go back to what the hell are we talking about?
Was in your segment.
But that's the second part. That's the second story.
Hi, Scott.
Well, because I figured we had already kind of talked about Peterson and stuff like that. So I figured we'd
just
go
heads up,
right back to your segment. I wasn't going to make you host a segment of stuff that you didn't introduce.
I just tell me when to go. I don't care what segment I go in.
You know what doesn't taste good? Cold soup.
Do we have a microwave, darling?
Isn't there like a pea soup you're supposed to eat cold?
I love peas, but I would never eat peas.
It looks nasty.
Right?
It looks like baby food.
I would rather drink, my green juice than eat that.
Gazpacho is cold too, I think.
It's alright.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Well,
is it already cold?
It's not hot.
I wish they would put warmers on those, like for coffee.
That would be nice. It's okay. I feel fine. I just sound like...
It's probably going to get worse.
Awful. Yeah. Well, I have tomorrow off, so that's good.
That's good.
I won't talk to I'll just sit at home. One thing I didn't do was watch any of ESPN the next day. I'm like, I'm not mad, but why would I watch any of this?
Welcome to my life. I feel like months have gone by because I have not watched any really sports coverage since the AFC Championship game. Like, I saw that special, I saw the two Bills special, and I was like, damn, at any other time I really would love to watch it.
It's really good.
I'll probably watch it now.
It's funny. So Kraft's fantastic, man. Some Kraft's remarks, you're like, oh, man, all right.
I bet that's on, I wonder if it's on replay. I bet it is.
Probably. It really gives you a whole respect for it. Man, this is why Belichick's so freaking good, man. He's smart.
So now, do you sort of give a little bit more validity to that whatever writer report from a few months back?
I think if Belichick would have left, yeah.
Yeah.
But now that he's going to stay.
Oh, he is going to stay.
He's going to stay and be with Josh again. This gets me excited for next year. This gets me...
Because it's an all or nothing.
This gets me you best watch out kind of feeling.
Because they're pissed off.
Yeah.
And you never want to piss them off. That's what I was mad about mostly with that story coming out. I'm like, great, this is going to piss them off, and now they're going to win it again.
No, all that did was probably piss off who told. Who's our little snitch in here? We got to get rid of you. Maybe the snitch was Butler. Maybe that's why he didn't play.
Mad about his not getting signed to the contract or whatever. What was it supposed to be? He missed curfew. He got caught with weed.
Yeah, and he says none of it's true. Yeah. He says, I don't know. You do one wrong thing, and so expect Butler will probably be the newest Brown.
I don't think he did all that story.
There's only been one player and he hasn't come out and talk about Garoppolo trade, but Belichick's only regretted getting rid of one player, and that was Lawyer Malloy.
Interesting.
He said that publicly.
He was my regret. Not about getting rid of James Harrison, who actually contributed for the Steelers.
Right.
I mean, for the Patriots against the Jaguars.
Yeah, I don't see him playing next year.
No, he definitely wanted out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Ooh, Hanson or 98
Talk about dysfunctional Steelers.
They are going to be a hot mess, I think, for a while.
That was pretty bad.
Especially with Brady. Ben. Because I don't know how much longer that relationship... Well, Haley's already gone. But I don't know how much longer that relationship between Big Ben and Mike Tomlin's going to last.
I don't know either.
I love Tomlin, in front of the mic, press conferences and stuff. But his organization and game planning to me is they're so emotional.
The spit in his beer was hilarious. You got spit in your beer, man.
I would be so mad at so many people. Why didn't you tell me that I'm looking like a fool?
Thank y'all.
LT was so funny with that. Tomlin, you got spit in your beer. Yeah, that's my show. I love that show.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
It's my girl. I love my girl.
Oh, it is pink.
Did either of you, by the way, or Tyler, did any of y'all win money on Super Bowl, whether it be prop bets or squares or anything like that?
I did not win anything with
squares.
I
didn't bet anything.
Tyler?
Should have.
I did. So surprisingly, I took the Patriots in a blowout, but for some reason, my gambling mind took the Eagles in the spread. So.
Well done.
Oh, no.
So I was a winner on Sunday.
You won and lost.
You won. You just could have won.
You could put that money towards the TB12 diet.
I guess so. Yeah.
Are you feeling any better about the diet?
No, hopefully it cures me. I feel like I'm getting a little sick over here, so.
So maybe this will be the week.
It could be, yeah.
My mom did tell me when I got sick a couple weeks ago to stay away from caffeine, that is not good for you when you are ill.
Why is that?
I guess bad for espespecially your sore throat. Like
you're not going to drink soda and stuff unless...
Well, it's inflamed. Your throat's already inflamed with a sore throat, and so caffeine is not good for it. So
yeah, unless you have a stomach ache, then you drink the warm Coke.
Yeah.
But a sore throat.
A warm Coke with a stomach ache?
Yeah, well, like room temperature.
I used to drink
like not
Sprite.
A Coke.
That was
the
always my
carbonation's
go-to.
good for your stomach.
Ginger ale. Ginger ale for the win for me. That's my hangover cure.
Getting to the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
The opening ceremonies will be Friday, and then when you wake up Saturday morning, the games will have begun. How locked in will you be?
I'll be locked in. I'm excited, but it's also you have to be locked in because now all the shows are on hiatus because of the Olympics,
and
so
nothing else is going on.
You know, so you kind of got to watch it. But this is what I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy that they actually start on Thursday, which is what the Summer Olympics do. They start before the opening ceremony. Like there's a couple things what they do. Don't do that.
What?
Do the opening ceremony then on a Wednesday. Or don't start that on a Thursday, because I don't understand that, because I remember seeing the commercial for, obviously it was NBC, and they go, games start Thursday. Don't miss the opening ceremony Friday. I'm like, what?
How doesn't make any sense?
It doesn't. And they do it all the time. It's I know this because it's every Olympics. I remember the Summer Olympics do the same thing too. That's one thing that annoys me, but I'm excited. I'm not really excited about ice skating this year, though, because you don't really know anybody.
And hockey's not in it, which is bad decision on the NHL and Bettman's part on not participating.
So kind of like skiing and snowboarding, I guess.
Yeah, alpine skiing and snowboarding will be the two that I will for sure pay attention to, mainly because we know the names of the people.
Shaun White, Lindsey Vonn. Is
Michaela
Lindsey Vonn the alpine skier?
She's alpine skiing. So is Michaela Schifrin, who's the one she's mainly competing against. She's 22, but she won gold 4 years ago.
By the way, I enjoy that Lindsey Vonn is actually good at her sport.
As opposed to
Anna Kournikova, who everybody loved because she was pretty, but she sucked. Okay, Lindsey Vonn's beautiful, and she's actually good. Yeah. So bravo for
And
Lindsey.
she dated Tiger Woods, which I think is definitely resume worthy.
It's interesting. I don't know if that's something I would put on my resume per se, but maybe that's because of his recent issues with stuff. I don't know if he was going through the drug addiction when he was with her, though. But yeah, I think you will see a little bit of the passing of the torch kind of in that alpine skiing. The snowboarding is just so much fun to watch.
It is.
It's ridiculous what they do. Have either of you been skiing or snowboarding before?
Yes, and it was a disaster.
Snowboarding?
Snowboarding. I tried snowboarding first. I went on my 30th birthday. We took a trip up to North Carolina, and they had record snowfall, which was awesome. So the first day, I tried snowboarding, and that was a lot of fun. The next day, we were so snowed in because I guess they're not used to getting that much snow, so we had to walk close to 5 miles from our hotel to the ski lift, and by that time we're all exhausted because we're walking in walking through 3 foot of snow on the roads because the cars can't go up and get us the shuttle service. And so I tried skiing that day because I heard it was easier than snowboarding, and I almost died. So yeah, that was the extent of my snowboarding and skiing experience.
Have you ever been?
I went skiing on some youth group trip a long time ago, but I'm more into the ice skating. I like to be able to move my legs. I don't want them locked into anything. Okay, I can wear skates. I don't want them locked on skis. I don't want them locked in a snowboard.
Can you do any jumps while you're ice skating?
Oh, I'm sure not. I would have, like, if my parents would have stayed, if we would have stayed up in Rhode Island, that's what I would have went into. I would have been an ice skater.
Are they going to have curling at the Olympics?
They will.
Yeah.
We are Olympically trained.
I don't know if we're Olympically trained.
One of us is.
We have been curling before. But I think Olympic training would require a little bit more effort.
No, we were trained by Olympians.
Yes, but not trained for the Olympics.
No, Olympically trained. I guess you can infer that both ways. But yeah, we were definitely trained by Olympians.
We were here in Jacksonville. That was really awesome.
With the curling nets.
The curling was a lot of fun, not scary, difficult, but not scary. The one sport that I absolutely would not try in the Winter Olympics is the ski jumping.
Okay.
It only became where women were doing it in the Olympics in 2014. So the female sport was added in 2014.
Really? That's it?
Yep. Men have been doing it, I think, since like 1924.
You would do the bobsled?
I would do the bobsled, and here's why. Because ski jumping, there's nothing protecting you, and you're going about 55 miles per hour off of a hill that's like 75 yards.
I think I read somewhere that the Nigeria is sending their first bobsled team ever, a women's team, to the Olympics, which is awesome.
I do remember that story.
So I would do like cool runnings, except that
do they still have this goes off of the Seinfeld skit with the skiing and shooting a gun? Do they still do that one?
I would think shooting a gun would be.
No.
They used to do that all the time.
Oh, I have seen that sport. Yes. Okay.
I know. I looked at the rundown of the different events, and cross country skiing was the only one I saw, other than the ski jumping and the alpine.
That's wild.
His joke on that was perfect.
That's like taking hunting to a next level.
The biathlon.
Is that what that is?
Oh, is the shooting biathlon?
Biathlon.
So they do have it?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
They do have the biathlon.
I just
didn't know
Google.
shooting. That's right. I guess that is a part of it. It's like, can you survive in the wild? I love them because I'll be in Puerto Rico for a week. I don't know exactly if I'll get coverage and stuff. Yeah, right. But I'll certainly pay attention via Twitter and stuff like that. I think the amateur athlete with those backstories that they will tell you about is just fantastic. I love, it's usually the story of like, either the parents were broke and somehow the athlete found a way to break into the sport, or there was an injury, or somebody had to move countries in order to do this. Like, they just have the most dramatic stories, and I absolutely love that. I think that a lot more millennials / women would pay attention to the NFL, which granted plenty do, but I think that's how the NFL and college football could get more people into it, is by showing kind of the stories behind the helmet, that kind of thing.
Right.
That's what I absolutely love about the Olympics. The NFL honors happened this past weekend. Unfortunately, Tony Boselli not into the Hall of Fame this year, but hopefully next year. But you, Donna,
I was
much more interested in Rob Riggle's introductory ceremony.
Look, I was locked into the NFL honors because it's so great. You have all your Hollywood stars, and you have your athletes. So it's a fun mixture. I would go to that in a heartbeat. I would love to work that red carpet.
I saw the This Is Us cast was there.
Yeah. So and I was watching it live, and I was laughing so hard at Rob Riggle.
Really?
I thought he was hilarious.
I was bored 2 minutes in, and I was like, I'll just let Donna tell me about it.
So, and that's the crowd. The crowd, they weren't laughing. They were just you watch the Oscars, you watch the Grammys, you watch anything else, and I know how Prosser feels about the elitists up there in Hollywood and how they thumb their nose, but they can actually take jokes. You can break them down and they will laugh at their own self. And these athletes are not laughing.
Maybe they're not used to being on camera like that.
Oh no, they are. I've watched this. This is the 7th year
who did he poke fun of that were just like stone faced?
Dude, he destroyed. Well, now Ben McAdoo wasn't there, but he destroyed Ben McAdoo, and that was funny. But leading up to it, because he kind of joked about how I want to talk about someone who got fired or lost his job for taking a stand, for taking a knee, or taking a seat.
Uh-oh.
And so he goes, of course I'm talking about Ben McAdoo.
Oh.
Ben McAdoo looks like a strip club patron who goes mainly for the buffet. Ben McAdoo looks like the Radio Shack manager your mom dated right after the divorce.
Bravo, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Archie Manning wrote all those jokes.
Like, nobody was laughing. When he destroyed Mark Davis, the owner for the Raiders, now he's the only one that laughed. And And he told about how that's a Super Bowl with his bowl haircut and was like, dude, man, you don't have a mirror? Come on now. It was hilarious. It's just, that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a roast of all y'all out there. We're going to make fun of every single one of you. Yeah, you Texans that donated money, and he's talking about the Osweiler contract, like stuff like that. It was so funny.
Was it the first time that they've ever done sort of a stand-up routine?
No, like this is the 7th year. They always do that.
Dang.
This is what they do.
And
the crowd this year, though, was just not laughing at anything.
It definitely looked like they were forced laughs when it was laughter, like especially the wives, even Mark Davis's wife, I assume that's his wife,
right?
The woman sitting next to him, you could tell that she looked almost nervous at what Riggle was going to say. JJ Watt's girlfriend kind of had a smile looking at him like, is this funny to him?
Laugh at it. It's just a roast. We're here to have fun and to honor, you all. Like, you can't they are the most divas of divas. You got to be able to take a joke. I mean, I couldn't believe it. We laughed. We thought it was hilarious. And we love Rob Riggle. Rob Riggle's
I did
great.
think, like, the McAdoo stuff to me was funny, but if I was a Giants player, like they did show Odell Beckham Jr. in it, I wouldn't have laughed at that because that puts you in a really awkward position.
But he's not your coach anymore. Of course you can laugh at it.
Well, he's not your coach anymore, but
position.
You may still be friendly with him. And, I do think that's where show people that aren't Giants players and show them laughing.
And I remember they did show, and I don't know who that was, but he was like crying, laughing so hard.
Yeah.
And I was.
The Case Keenum stuff was also pretty funny.
They couldn't find Case Keenum because no one knows who Case Keenum is, what he looks like. The Alex Smith with Aaron Rodgers was funny. He told Aaron Rodgers that you should lay low while you're here in Minnesota.
People here are just so hospitable. I mean, did you see how freely they welcomed the Eagles into their end zone?
That's funny.
I heard that and I was like, I would have been freaking annoyed because I would have been like, I just lost. This is still fresh in my mind.
Oh, that's so funny.
But it was really funny. Speaking of Minnesota people, Tyler, did you find that Minnesota people were nice because they have that stereotype of Minnesota nice?
I wouldn't agree or disagree either way, but I'd say they were nice people. I mean, they were happy to see all the visitors come there because they probably don't get a lot of visitors.
What is Minnesota nice?
I would just say like a Midwestern. It's kind of a stereotype, I guess.
Like I remember
more nice than Florida.
The Super Bowl in Indianapolis was the nicest group of people, but they had, because Dallas was so bad the year before, and they didn't know what to do with the ice storm, and Dallas was horrendous. And when we went to Indy the next year, they specifically created a committee that was just everybody. There was somebody on every block. Can I help you? Do you need help finding something? Do you need a taxi? Like, everybody was overwhelmingly wonderful. So the Indy experience was so great because of the people and how well they were treating you. So, I mean, I feel bad because it was -13 for them up there. You're not really going outside and doing anything.
Yeah, I will say I kind of started to come off of the anger and upset level that I was at about the Jaguars losing and not getting to go to Super Bowl week and all that stuff when I realized how cold it was up there, and I also realized that the next 3 Super Bowls are in the South with Atlanta, Tampa, and Miami.
Which is the way it should be forever.
Yeah, and I agree with that part, but and obviously nice for Minneapolis. They had built this new stadium which showcased beautifully, especially when Justin Timberlake did do that Prince
that was cool.
Showed the whole city in purple. That part was awesome. So good for them. But yeah, it should be in a beautiful kind of vacation-like area for the media members and for all the people, all the fans and everybody like that to be able to enjoy the weather outside of the building. Right. And I realized, hey, I can drive to the next 3 Super Bowls, and I would have had to fly to Minneapolis. And Tyler, who just went there, came back sick. So I'm not nearly as upset as I was. Getting to your Doritos story, Blythe, they're making lady-friendly chips that don't crunch at all or crunch as loud.
It's one of the most ridiculous stories I've ever heard because when I was reading through the article, it says Global Chief Exec Idra, and I don't know how to say her last name, so I'm not even going to try, but she says, you watch a lot of the young guys eat the chips. The chips. They love their Doritos, and they lick their fingers with great glee. And when they reach to the bottom of the bag, they pour the little broken pieces into their mouth because they don't want to lose that taste of the flavor and the broken chips at the bottom. Women would love to do the same, but they don't. They don't like to crunch too loudly in public, and they don't like to lick their fingers. And when I'm reading this, I'm like, what kind of women they talking to? Because I do all of those things. The chips at the bottom of the bag are sometimes the best.
Yeah. Because they're coated. They're coated in the Dorito cheese.
But I don't usually pour the bag up into my mouth. What I do is I will lick my fingers, and then I'll stick my finger in the bag and get all those tiny chips to stick to my fingers, and then I put my fingers in my mouth.
Right.
Oh, see, I'll dump the whole bag. But you got to get it just right. You got to get the crease on the bag just right, so it's like a funnel system straight into your mouth.
Tyler, if you were hanging out with a girl like at lunch and she started eating her chips like that, like licking her fingers and stuff, would you find that disgusting in any way?
I would get on one knee and propose.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I think eating in front of most people, women don't care. No. Maybe at a restaurant, but how many times are you eating chips at a restaurant?
The only time I don't want to crunch loudly is when you're in the movie theater and you're in between previews and you're like, I'll hold my popcorn, hold on.
Or it's like a super silent part of the movie and you judged wrong.
Right. It's like, no. All right, there's music going on.
That's the only time. A lot of women are looking at this, new chip option and going like, are you kidding me?
It can't be good. How can you make
going
a good
against years of
chip?
Women competing with men equally and being able to do all these things? Like, this is ridiculous. There's no way it tastes as good as what you just said.
It can't be, yeah. How can a not crunchy chip taste as well as the
I would be like, oh, these are stale, and I'd throw them in the trash.
Right. I don't know. That's kind of gross. No, I'm good.
I'll crunch.
I'll crunch and
lick my fingers.
By the way, real quick, if you want to win tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel, text into the text line driven by Duval Ford 641-1010 right now. And the first person to text in that they want the Peterbrook Chocolate Heel wins it for tonight. It is that easy. Since we are right before Valentine's Day, and we know that you need that Peterbrook Chocolate Heel for your loved one. They are such a perfect gift.
I want to say
Valentine's Day.
Hi, Milton Police Department. Thanks for listening, Scott. Love you.
Thanks to our producer, Tyler Devitt, for producing While Sick, and to Donna Murphy for being on the show While Sick. Blythe and I are going to try to keep away from their germs. Stay tuned for Hacker After Dark with Andrew Gibson until midnight right here on 1010XL.
That's the most ridiculous thing. For those of you still on the live stream, these protect your fingers from cheesy fingers. As if you need to buy this to avoid that.
That's you bringing in a gallon
part
of water?
Of the reason for
I'm not gonna drink
eating Cheetos. It's for cheesy fingers.
That's really dumb.
So dumb. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back here next Tuesday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll be here 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys again for watching, and go Jazz.
Oh yeah.